Hey everybody, it's Monica and it's time for business credit coaching with Tabitha Thomas. She has actually been there and done that when it comes to getting business credit. I'll give you her resume. She's been a notary. She's a six-figure notary. She is a veteran. She is a mom, and she does not play games when it comes to her business. And she has had some ups and downs personally with financial credit, with personal financials. As we all have, but she has not let that stop her, and she has built business credit on the back end of that dip, if you will, in personal finances. So when I first talked to Tabitha last year about her journey and how accomplished she was, I knew that she was going to be the one to lead us to the light. I've had so many people offer their services, good friends of mine who do credit repair and all of these different things, but there was no one who had the story like Tabitha. So I'm going to turn it over to Tabitha, let her tell you more about her and what she'd like to share with you as far as her journey to this point. And then we'll open up the floor to get started with some business credit coaching. Sound good? All right, Tabitha, the floor is yours. I'm also going to give you the host ability. So if you wanted to share your screen or do any of that, you can. Let me know if you can't. Nope, it's still, it was fine when we first got on, but for some reason it went away. Looks like we still have people coming in too, so that's cool. Where's everyone at?
Can y'all hear me?
Now we can. Perfect.
Oh, sorry, my headphones don't want to cooperate. So I am Tabitha. So my business credit journey started on a humbug because I'm in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy actually. And I had to figure out a way to build business credit without using my social. So everything I did was no personal guarantee, no social, nowhere, because I couldn't use it. You can build business credit with your social. If you have good credit and you need capital, like right now, you can use your social, but just remember that it can count against your debt income ratio on your personal credit, and you will get a hit to your personal credit. So I don't like mixing business with personally, but if you have the credit to do it and you need like something right now, then you can go that route too. So what I want to know from everybody is where you are right now, and what do you want business credit to do for you?
I'm gonna hop in there and go first real quick, okay? Because I got 3 businesses. Personal credit sucks. I'm probably in the low 600s. I could care less because I got cash in the bank, and that's my attitude. It's like there's bills on my credit that I could have probably paid off 3 times that I haven't, because I've always put business credit to the rear, and I'm like, I got cash, so whatever. But here recently, I went to Farm Credit to do some farming stuff, and I wanted to apply for an operating loan, and they were like, no. Okay. So my question to you is, how important is your personal credit before we even start talking business? How important is it to resolve your personal credit issues before you even start trying, or like, talk to me about that, like that.
So it depends on what you're trying. In your case, you're trying to get capital, like a larger loan. So your personal credit does need to be, because most capital loans, even hard money loans, you got to put down a big down payment. But just a regular loan like from SBA, USDA, you're going to need at least a 620,
okay,
80 credit score, depending on who the underwriter is and lender. So if you're trying to get that type of capital, you will need your personal credit, because you're going to have to guarantee it. You're going to have to back it.
Okay.
If not with your credit, most of the time it's with property.
Gotcha.
Like
Yesenia says in the chat, she would like money for working capital, to have a mobile office, pay her contracted people, market, and to have funds to handle monthly business bills.
So there are like Divvy has a line of credit. Tarpago is another like a line of credit. It's a card, but it's a line of credit. But they do pull your personal credit. Now Divvy.
Who was that first one you mentioned? DIBI. Can we put that in the chat?
Divvy, DIVVY.
DIBBY.com.
D is in Victor.
Oh.
Yeah, Divvy.
All right, I
So
think I got it
them,
right.
they will do a soft pull on your personal credit. You don't have to have a high credit score with Divvy. 600, 640. I've seen people get approved with them, but they go by capital. So they'll pull your bank statements. They want them to see how much revenue you bring in. They do a soft pull on your credit, not a hard pull. And then that's how they determine what your credit line would be. You can have to pay it back net 15 or net 30.
Okay,
And it's
I'm gonna
not
go to the
revolving.
website.
Yes, that's it, Divvy.
While we're doing that, I have a question. Can you get capital if you have zero and you're just getting started?
Not without using your personal credit. So you can't get any capital loans with your business without them backing it with your personal credit.
So
Fund-
this place, Divvy, allows you to do consumer loan? It looks like a house place. Am I at the right place?
yeah, that must be a sector of them. Let me see. It's Divvy. They will have to Divvy business credit card. So it's getdivvy.com.
Gotcha. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna drop this in the chat, guys, so you can take the link and be doing your research while we're on the call.
Yeah, so your question was like capital. So there are companies like Fundbox. You have the what's the name of those companies? The micro loan, the fintech companies that offer, like Divvy is one of those companies, and Torpago is another one. It's TORPAGO. That's another one like Divvy as well. They're like a fintech company, so they base their decision. They do soft pulls, but they base their decision off of your revenue. So they want to see bank statements for 6 months, and they want to see how much revenue you have coming in, and that's how they determine what your credit line would be with them.
Okay. And they don't ask for your social?
They don't. Now Torpago does not ask for your social. Divvy does ask for your social, but they do a soft pull, not a hard pull.
Well, you gave me something I can try soon, because if that's the case, then I know my revenues, they would probably be okay. As I have bank statements to show revenue, so I'll give them a try.
Yep.
And see what happens. See, y'all already don't understand how she just dropping money nuggets in your ears right now. Okay. Okay.
You need capital like that, I would probably go with Torpago, because they don't really care about how many business vendor accounts you have. They care about your revenue and basically your revenue, what you have coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else we got in the chat? Let's see here. Who here has business credit? Raise your hand if you've already established some type of business credit, because tonight's call is going to be all about figuring out where you are. Tyrell, your hand's up. Go ahead.
I do have business credit. I have Amazon, Uline, Quail, Ranger, Crown Supply,
Your Amazon, is it net 55 or net 30?
Net 30, I believe. Yeah, Net 30.
Okay, so net 30 does not report. So I would suggest getting the net 55, because that reports to the business credit bureaus. That's the one I have.
Okay.
Uline is net 32, I thought, because I got Uline.
Mine is net 30, but
Okay.
Amazon net 30 doesn't report. Net 55 does report.
Gotcha.
Okay. My question though is, how many times do we have to purchase from them in order to go to the next tier?
Until they report. So some of the Uline, Quill, they report every 3 months, some of them, and some of them report every month. So as soon as you see them reporting on your NAV, do you have NAV to keep up with your scores?
I'm going to do that tonight.
NAV and see what you have reporting on NAV. So if you have Uline reporting, you don't have to keep ordering from it, because once you generate a score, you have your score unless you default on the payment.
Okay. All right. And then so once they report, then we move on, then we can move on to the next tier.
The next tier, yeah.
What score should that be before we move on? I don't know. I've just started. I've been watching YouTube. University.
So 80 for DMB, you need at least a 80 on your Dun and Bradstreet score. For Experian, it varies. So anything 45 is like, it's okay. That's what I had when I bought my truck. Mine dropped down from an 85 to a 45 because of that. It's a $46,000 truck, but it hasn't stopped. Like I still got my Amazon account with that low Experian score. So when you just starting out, you're probably going to be like an 85 or 80, which is good.
I don't want y'all to know my business. Hold on.
The Equifax score, nobody really uses Equifax, and like, because I'm in a bankruptcy, I don't even have an Equifax score because they reporting my personal bankruptcy, which they shouldn't be on my business credit, but it's reporting, so I can't generate an Equifax score, and it hasn't stopped me from getting the $86,000 in credit that I have.
Okay.
So Experian and Dun and Bradstreet, those are the two that almost any business credit lender is going to look at.
And what level of business credit could you go and get your, purchase you a vehicle in your business credit?
So it varies. I hear different things. Some people say you need 10, some people say you need 14. I can only tell you what I had. I had 5 when I bought my truck. I didn't have Sam's Club because I didn't get Sam's until after I bought my vehicle. I had Quill, I had Uline, I didn't even have Office Depot yet. Quill, Uline, Nav, the Dun and Bradstreet little credit signal thing for $50 they report. And I had one more. Can't think what it was now.
Oh, shut up, y'all. She didn't turn me on to something. Now let me take it off the share screen so I don't have to tell y'all all my business now. Y'all don't need to know how much I get denied or approved for. Thank you very much. Okay.
Nav will give you recommendations and they'll like try to match you based on what your profile is. I had a friend of mine that just got a $29,000 loan through Nav. They gave her a match and she got the loan. So,
and see, Stripe has my payment processing, so they have given me. I'm on my second loan with them, so they don't even pull my credit. But I went to the bank to get something, and they were like,
"Yeah." And PayPal will do it too. Like they'll go up. So if you pay the loan that you have, they'll keep going up with how much.
Yeah, I noticed that with Stripe. Stripe offered me $26,000. I was too afraid, so I just took 10 of it. The first one was like 8, and then I went up a little bit more because I was like, okay, I could pay that off. And then they lowered my payback rate. So the first loan they were charging me like 19% to pay it back quickly. Now they only charge me like 7%, and it just is automatic. So I'm about to see what Nav is talking about so I can get some marketing done and bring some more money out. Who else has their hand up? Avis. It's on. You're on mute, Avis. We can't hear you.
Better?
Yeah.
Yes. There she is.
Okay. Yeah, I've been in business for quite a while, and I think I've had Quill, it seems like forever. And Amazon, Chase, Home Depot, Sam's, Office Depot, and Uline. I think the DMB score is about 87-ish.
Oh, good.
I'm not sure what the Experian is. But again, the game has changed so much because I've had these accounts probably like 10-ish years or so. But now that, and especially more people of color are finding out all of the secrets, all of the backdoor secrets to this type of wealth that we were not exposed to prior. So a lot of new requirements are coming up and things of that nature. A lot of stuff that I'm not really familiar with because I've had mine for so long, but I'm reading up on it and I'm like, okay, very, very shortly, things are gonna get tight. So I say, if you're gonna work on establishing this business credit, do so immediately because it's gonna change.
Yeah, when more people start getting hip to it, and the rules of the game will kind of change with the demand of So okay, so Nav, Terpago, Get Divvy.
Citizens Bank also has a business credit revolving credit card.
Okay.
They do a soft pull as well, but and I tried to get them, but because they do the soft pull, they saw the bankruptcy, so they was like, no. But I've seen people get some really good credit lines with Citizens Bank. They have a business credit side.
Citizens Bank. I've heard of Citizens Bank.
And
Yeah,
they pull Equifax they pull a soft pull your Equifax personal score.
There we go.
I tend to stay away from any company that does any type of pull on my personal. I don't want them soft pulling. I don't want them pulling at all. So I try to either read or talk to someone about what their actual credit guidelines are. And if they start with, oh, it's just a soft pull, no, I established my business credit for a reason. It's business credit,
That's how
you
I
know, so
feel.
and you know, everybody else can do what they want, but I mean, what's the point if you start allowing soft pulls, then what's the point of all this work? Because this is work.
This work and it takes time.
Yes.
It is work. Yes.
Who else we got on the call? Anybody else? Let's check the chat. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm pulling up the notes. So here's what's about to happen with these notes, folks. This is it. This is a situation. We all have things that we can add to this, and that's going to make this situation even more impactful. I'm going to make it editable where anybody with this link can hop in here and add to what we've got going on tonight. A lot of this stuff we all know about. I mean, we talked about Granger, right? We know about Granger, we know about Quill, we know that these things have to happen before you can start going after the revolving credit, okay? I'm dropping in the chat this link to this document that you see on your screen right now. But what I want you guys to do is to, if you have other ideas of sources of capital, to drop those in. I'm going to put all of this, once we get out of the session, into the class so that you'll be able to go back and get it. So everybody should have the link, and we'll just keep it simple. We're not gonna keep it fancy. We got sources of capital and we got trade lines. That's basically where we're filling in the blanks. And as we come up with other topics, we'll add those. Oh, that's right. You need net 55 in order to be able to
For them to report. Amazon Net 55 is the one that reports.
Okay. Let me go up here. It's weird with everybody in there. Net 55. Net 55 account, trade lines.
Amazon, and they go through Synchrony Bank.
Do you know any other net 30s who use that same bank? I know some.
So Synchrony also uses Sam's MasterCard, goes through Synchrony Bank as well. It is not, so on their application, there is a box to where you have to say if you want to personal guarantee. I did not personal guarantee my Sam's MasterCard. So you have to have a membership. You can have a personal membership. You don't have to have the business membership. Once you get the personal membership, you go to the counter in Sam's and you tell them you want to apply for the MasterCard, the business MasterCard. Do not check that box on there where it says you want a personal guarantee. It will strictly be off your EIN, and they do pull Experian Business. So your Experian Business needs to match everything that is on Dun & Bradstreet. That's another thing I want to talk about. Make sure that all your information matches across the board. Your business address, phone numbers. On D&B, you need to make sure you have your links to your websites. Your social media handles need to be there because there's space for all that on Dun & Bradstreet. I didn't have none of that filled out at first. I didn't even know it was important. I'm like, oh, they don't even know that. Yeah, that's important. Make sure your revenue is on Dun & Bradstreet because they will see that as well. And they don't ask you for, they will try to say, well, we need a financial statement. Do not send them a financial statement. Just update your profile, and they may call you to verify the information that you put in. They'll say, hey, did you update your revenue to this amount? And then they asked me, what was on your taxes? The amount that I gave you was on my taxes last year. So they just updated it, and then that was it.
And that's the same with business. I mean, that's the same with government contracting. We talked about that last Friday with Georgette, who's on the call. You have got to make sure, okay, so let's everybody stop and take a breath real quick, okay? Everybody needs to make sure that you have some basic things done before you can hit the ground running with this. Okay, let's just do that. I think that would be helpful because I think there's some people that are very, very new to business credit, but we've got some seasoned entrepreneurs on here. Miranda, we're going to get your question. You come off of mute while I go start another checklist with the beginning steps, okay? Because I know some of us need that. So Miranda, you come on off of mute and get your question answered.
Okay, it might be a little, okay.
It's advanced. I already know it's y'all. It's Miranda. Okay, she
No,
finna
Miss
come with
Taylor.
some complex, honey. She ain't new to this. Okay, go ahead.
I'm true to it. No, I'm just like, okay, so have, Miss Tabitha, have you heard or do you know? Let's not put here. Okay, so you know how you build a house or you have equity in a house, or let's just say you own a house.
Mhm.
That you take that house and you transfer that house into your business name, and then your business will automatically have the be worth the equity of your house. So let's say that you live in a $400,000 house
Mhm.
and you quit claim deed it to the business, right?
Mhm.
And then, so now the house is under, that trade line is under, you follow me? The trade line is under the business name. So therefore, the equity in your business has went up and gave you more lending power.
Yes.
That sounds like some slickness right there.
It's like as the, oh,
Smart. So I actually did a commercial closing, and the signer told me about this, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "So did you have to like personal guarantee it? Did you have to, back it?" He said, "So he put his house as collateral
Mm.
on the loan, but it was like a $1.3 million sale. His house was not that much, I don't think. So, and that what has intrigued me for getting a business in your company name. I also did a closing where the guy did a hard money loan, which I was like, okay, what is that? He's like, so it's not really based so much on your personal credit, but you have to put down like a large amount, I guess, of money as a down payment. But you pretty much guaranteed to get the loan. I was like, So I'm looking into that too for like fix and flips. I guess that's what a lot of people doing with fix and flips. And then
yeah, because a lot of people don't have the money, they need the gap. And you can work with some hard money lenders, but some of them are kind of, you got to make sure you're working with the right ones. And then my second thing is that, because I know about getting a car in your business name. I think you just said that you did.
Mhm.
Now I know, now I personally know people that didn't have it, their score all the way built up, but they basically went to the Ford dealership and they talked to the customer service manager, well, the manager of there, and they didn't personal guarantee it or nothing. But we're talking about a Ford. We ain't talking about the Mercedes Benz. But if you talking about putting some stuff on Turo, but you wouldn't tell them that, then basically that you can go there with your business name and get it established that way as well.
Yep. That's what I did with my vehicle, because of course I'm in a bankruptcy, so I couldn't, they tried to like, well, we're gonna put it in your social. I said, no, I'm only gonna use my EIN. I don't want to use my social. If I have to use my social, then I don't want it. So they were like, well, we can run it, through the bank to see what they say. Allie came back and approved me immediately. And I was like, wow, this actually worked, because I had heard it work. I've been in groups to where people say they've done it, but I'm like, I'm in a bankruptcy though, so let me see how real this really is. And I got approved for a $46,000 vehicle, 2021, just like that.
Now, did you have to put any down payment down with that,
So
or?
I did not have to put a down payment, but if I had not put a down payment, my payment was going to be like almost $1,000. So I did put down $3,000 to get my payment down to $791.
Now, have you heard of the opposite way of the same thing that I'm talking about with the houses? This, let's say that you have a paid off car, or even that, let's say that you drive in the Benz, or let's say that you have let's just say that you have that same car that you have, but let's say it was on your personal side, that you flip it and put it into your business side.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know about that until my mom passed away, and it's called a surety bond. Because that's how I was able to, take over the vehicle and things of that nature. And the surety bond transferred the ownership to me. But basically, you can do the same thing on the business, on the car side, and then you have equity right there. Quill and doing all that, it takes time. But if you're already going to make a mortgage payment, you're already going to make a car payment, why not just put it in your business name? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to
Exactly.
do now with the property. Yep.
Okay, so let's back up and recapture some of that. As you guys see here, I'm just kind of starting this little checklist. I've got a property, okay? I've got, depending on who you ask, $130,000 worth of equity to maybe $200,000 worth of equity, okay?
Mhm.
So if I'm hearing you guys correctly, I could deed that property to my business. And when I do that, make it official,
Mhm.
then my business now has the equity in that property, that has access to that equity in that property, and can borrow against that property from a business point of view. What would be the benefit of that? I guess I'm trying to see.
Well, me personally, there's not a real benefit to it. I would rather take the cash out of my property and then roll that cash into my business. I'm very protective about properties, okay? And you got to be real careful. See, because if you don't know what you're doing with this, you'll mess around and lose everything.
Correct.
And that's what people fail to understand. There are rules and steps to this. And us are real quick to run out here and generate a whole bunch of stuff on the business side. But then what about the part that people aren't thinking about is, what about if and when the low time comes
Mhm.
and you don't have that revenue coming in?
Right.
These creditors are not going to be nice to you on the business side.
No.
They're not going to give you the chances and the opportunities that they do on the personal consumer side. So just be very careful. And I would rather play with the money than to play with my property. Leave your property where it is until, if you got that kind of equity in your property, take some of that cash out and just roll it into the business and leave your property alone until you really, really know what you're doing.
I won't even go one even further. I don't believe that if you got to take cash out of your house to make your business work, you're in the wrong business.
Absolutely. First and foremost, yes.
I feel like if your business is struggling to that degree where it's unable to generate revenues on its own merit,
absolutely,
then that's something very important that we should talk about tonight, because we're talking about obtaining capital. And some of us want to get capital for operating costs, and some of us want to get capital for different things, which is all valid. But what we have to do is we have to look and assess the health of our business first.
Yes.
See, is it throwing off enough revenue for me to even take on this? Violet, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
It looks like it was already answered. We was talking about the Amazon from the 30 to the 55. What was needed to get that changed? And I think Tabitha mentioned it.
Yeah, there are two different accounts. You can have both. You can have a net 30 with them, and you can also have a net 55. I just have a net 55 because that's the one that reports to the business credit bureaus, and the net 30 doesn't. They offered me the net 30, but I didn't take it. So it's not like converting one over. They're two separate accounts.
Okay. So I just would probably ask for that one for the 55.
Yeah, you can go on. If you actually Google Amazon Net 55, they have their own website, and you can apply for it.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, Sugar.
You're welcome.
All right, who else we got? Let's see here.
But I will say Amazon is not a tier 1. Amazon is a tier 2.
Right, that's correct.
And so you guys, back to this basics thing, when she's talking about tier 1 and tier 2, that's the thing I think that where the levels come in. What you want to focus on first is starting with those tier 1 people, I guess, and getting your credit. Is that what you're talking about, Tabitha?
Yeah, so when you get the Granger, the Uline, the Quills, once they start reporting, and you generate a score because, before you get to tier 1, you don't really have a score. So what you want is the score to generate. Once the score is there, it's there. You don't have to keep ordering from them over and over and over again. You just need to order enough till they generate a score. And some of them report quarterly. I'm not sure if Quill switched back from every 3 months to every month, but they were reporting every 3 months. But then they changed and said they weren't reporting at all. So I'm not sure how they're reporting now because I don't even pay. They've been on my credit report for like 3 years now. So I'm not sure how they report at this moment because at one point they stopped last year and then they started back. So I'm not sure if they went to net 30 or quarterly. But once you see it show up on your DNB and your NAV, you don't have to keep ordering unless you. I still order from Quill because that's where I get my paper from. I'm a Quill Plus member, so I get it for a little bit cheaper than anywhere else. So that's why I still use Quill. But Uline, I don't use them at all anymore.
One thing I learned last time Tabitha taught this class was when you start with these tier 1 vendors, don't pay your late, obviously, but don't pay it before it's due. So that's the thing. I think a lot of people probably get the invoice and you see the date, due whatever date, 30 days later or 20 some odd days later. Don't wait that long, right? Pay it midway.
That's why that's why her score is 87 with DNB because that means she pays 10 to 15 days before her due date. And that's what you want to do. You want to pay it early so you can get that higher. Now 80 is good. You can get whatever you want with 80. But it also looks good when you have closer to 100, the 87, the 90, the 95. So
how much does the time that you've been in business, like say we've got some new notaries on here and they're going to get out here and start setting up these accounts. How long before, and I know Georgette, you went through this in the summer, how long before, like if you're brand new, are you going to be able to see a score transpire pretty like within 90 days, or is it going to take you a year, or what was your experience?
You still can generate a score and you can move through the tiers in 90 days to 6 months. It's just how accurate, how on it are you going to be with the ordering to, checking to make sure your scores generate. Once your scores generate with tier 1, then you go into tier 2. So I did it in 5 months. I was able to get my vehicle in 5 months from building. So it doesn't take a year. You just have to do the steps. The main thing is making sure your business is structured right and everything is matching everywhere. Like having PO boxes, you want using iPostal, no. Opius or Regis or Alliance. Those are the only 3 that I would recommend using for a virtual address. No UPS store boxes, no PO boxes. You can have a PO box if you want to for your mail, but for as business credit, you need to have a virtual address and not a home address. You need to have a business phone number. It needs to be listed with Yelp, Google My Business. Was it 411? I had wrote down some more. 411, Google My Business, Yelp, list yourself. Making sure your business is in Fiverr, which I didn't know until last night. You can list your business through Fiverr and they list them with all of the, like instead of you doing it yourself through each one, you can go through Fiverr. I don't know how much it costs, but they list your business for you with everybody. Found out last night, I didn't know it was a thing. Now, as far as years in business, you don't have to have 2 years, 3 years in business to get credit, unless when you start getting tier 3 and tier 4, some of them will look at how long you've been, like Office Depot. Office Depot requires a 2 years business, but you have to be for the actual revolving card. Who else? Someone else requires 2 years. Sam's, Costco. Costco has a business Visa card too, but they want 3 years of business, or like 500,000 in revenue, something crazy like that. So it just depends on the what you're trying to get. The time in business may matter, but as far as establishing, you can get your business credit going in 3 to 6 months to where you can pretty much get what you want.
That's one of the takeaways I did from the last time you taught the class. I did go establish with Opus, and it's $99 a month, and they report every single month. So that one little thing, it's a virtual office. Do I need a virtual office? No, but I did that because what she taught us last time was that they report. So I was like, it helped me get myself established. I took Tabitha's advice. And this is the thing with this coaching, guys. you know, we're past lecture and theory now, right? We're all big girls and boys, right? We've been in business, some of us for a little while now. So now these coaching sessions are going to be kind of like those rapid fire. This is what you need to get done. And then you just take from it what you need and then go do it. Like Avis, she's already got all of her foundation laid. So if Avis, so what Avis is going to get from this is this next level stuff. So Avis needs to be trying to figure out, does she even need any money? And if she does need some money, some of these people, the Divvy people or the Torpego people is probably who she needs to be talking to, because she's already done with the Granger and the Uline and the Quill and all of that.
Absolutely.
Let's just get a show of hands. Let's not do a show of hands. Let's do on the chat so that your coach can have a really good idea, because she did ask this at the beginning. We started talking. What kind of system can we use? On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 meaning that you're brand new to business credit, 5 meaning that you have at least 3 trade lines or 5 meaning that you have a what is it called? A Paydex score. Okay. So answer 1 if you're brand new and 5 if you have a Paydex score, so we can see where everyone is. Okay. And then somewhere in between if you're on your way, right? Okay. 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 So there's only, okay, so Angelia has a Paydex, Avis has a Paydex, Tyrell has a Paydex. So there's 3 advanced people, and a couple in the middle. Georgette has a Paydex, Miranda has a Paydex. So you guys are at the, so we need to get you guys we need to get them some next session, some advanced stuff. And then for everyone else who is brand new, it sounds like we need to make sure we go back and check your profile on Dun & Bradstreet. We're getting ready to do that tonight. Who's gonna be the guinea pig? Nicole? Over there looking just professional, honey, with your little bookcase background. Do you want to be the guinea pig and let us look at your Dun & Bradstreet profile?
I don't have one yet, so you're gonna have to skip me tonight.
Okay, can't get you tonight then. So
Want me
that'll
to
be
log in?
Violet, you know I always pick on you. I'm gonna try to find somebody else to pick on.
Okay.
I'm always willing to be picked on. I appreciate you for that. Who else here said 1? Kira, do you have a Dun & Bradstreet profile?
No, I do not have a Dun & Bradstreet profile yet.
Okay, so you got homework for next session. Let's see who we have. Another 1. C.
So-
Blair.
Dunn's number? Do you have Dunn's numbers, or you just don't have the profile set up?
I don't have a profile set up.
But you do have a Dunn's number though.
No, I don't have the number or profile.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, because I'm like, you have.
I'm in the same position, Monica. I do not have any of that set up.
Okay, so guess what we finna do, everybody? Okay, we're about to go to Dun & Bradstreet's website so that you guys can get familiar with what you need to do when you go there this week, so you can get this set up. So I'm finna share my screen.
Well, we need an address first, right?
Oh, good question.
Yes. So what are you using right now for your business address? Are you using your home address?
No, right now, I'm just using a PO box, but I have gone and checked on a Regis address, but I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay, yeah, you do. You definitely need the address. You don't want to put a PO box on Dun & Bradstreet as your business.
All right, so
I have a question along the same lines. I have a prior business at the address that I'm currently using. And I've had a Dun & Bradstreet for that for the other business.
Everybody have a professional
Using-
email? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
say
Yeah,
that one more time.
using that. Okay, I have a prior business that I had registered with Dun & Bradstreet using the address I'm currently using for my current business. And
Okay.
they did let me open the Dun & Bradstreet. May I still use that address?
Is that your home address?
No, it's actually on the first level, it does have a UPS store. It's a
Okay.
mixed use building.
Uh-huh.
And some very, very big construction companies and different businesses use that address. The reason is you get mail there and it's delivered in real time, someone to sign for it. it's a nice location.
Okay. So if it's an address that's not a PO box in
Yeah, I use suite number, not PO box.
number.
I use suite.
So that should, as long as that address is searchable as a commercial address, it should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Especially if you used it before. With your other business, did you have business credit in the other business or no?
I had, yes.
Okay, so if you had business credit and you use that same address, you should be fine to use that address for this one.
Okay, thank you.
You should be fine with that.
Along these same lines, when you're going and you're establishing your business address, you want to make sure when your business is Googled, you're at all the places, right? So you could, and I don't know how important this is, but it seems like to me that when they check you out and you have a Yelp profile or a Google My Business profile and all of these things match up, all the links are good. So that, I don't know how important that part is. Tabitha, can you speak on that with all those little ancillary sites like Yelp, like I guess what the ones at Fiverr, you were talking about, Fiverr will go and list you at all these different places.
Right. Yep, is very important because what the creditors would do is they'll look you up, they'll look at your website, they'll Google you to see what comes up on your business. So if they can see a Yelp, not ad, but a listing for you, a Google My Business listing. For me with Sam denied me twice because they said that my business phone number was not searchable. I'm like, well, my business phone number, it's a cell phone, but it's in my business name. I didn't know that I had to call Verizon to get them to list my business cell phone number under my business name. So I had a hard time. It took me 3 times to get the Sam's MasterCard because they denied me twice because they couldn't verify my business completely.
Right. So all of us right here a lot of us are in still step 1, right? Establishing your business, making your business Google proof. Google your business and see if it matches. And if you say, oh Lord, that's not the address I'm at, then that's the same thing a creditor is gonna say when you make application, your address is different from the application than it is on a Google search. So these are all good steps. Now, did somebody else have a hand up? I think so.
Yes, I did. I have one more question.
Sure.
The address that I'm using, I just discovered after I registered the business with New Jersey that that entity also has a notary service that they offer in-house. And that's why I've been hesitant because I don't want to put marketing dollars into a business and have it all go to someone else.
Oh, yeah.
So
someone has the same address, they have a similar name, like.
No, well, no. The same company that receives all the mail and call me when there's an issue or whatever, the same company also offers, I walked in there one day and I saw the sign says, we offer notary. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So if I advertise and I use that address as my address,
You're
the
sending them
business,
Address
go-
come up
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
yeah.
recommend I change the address, but then it's not gonna confuse the state? Because the state has me registered there.
So you have to, so wherever you make the changes to your address, you need to make your changes everywhere with the state.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, with state, DMV, like everything needs to match. All
Okay, got it.
And you know what I would do? I would just sacrifice those customers because inevitably you're right. Your marketing is going to send customers their way and they're going to get some of your notary money. But the bigger win for you is having that as your address, not the 40 or 60 or $100 that you might lose because your marketing is going to send people to a competitor. You know, I wouldn't, I don't know, personally, I just wouldn't change all of that. If that address works for business credit, I probably wouldn't, unless you were planning on moving anyway.
True.
No, well, my business plan is to have a remote notary.
Okay.
Or a mobile notary. So an address wasn't that important.
I see.
However, I happen to be in a commercial building currently, meaning I stay in a commercial building. So I have the option of the office right into the building where I would do
where I would meet a customer if I needed to meet in the office. You understand? I knew where I was
Yeah.
going with this. I just didn't think it all the way through.
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
But you still have the option of getting you a new address if it really became an issue in your marketing and just giving them all your business. But because the address is flexible for you, you can go find another address that will work, but it sounds like you've already got one. So
Yeah, I do. I really do.
yeah. Yeah. So Michelle,
Yeah.
your hand is up.
So so on my Google My Business, I don't have my address because I'm using my home. So how do I get around that? Because I don't want people coming to my house.
So you're using your home address right now?
My home address is my business address.
Business address, okay. I would change that. I started off that way too before I knew anything about business credit. And like for instance, Granger wouldn't give me an account with them because I didn't have a business address. I didn't understand what that meant 3 years ago, but I'm like, what do you mean I don't have a business address? This is a legit address, but it was because it was a residential address when they looked it up and not a commercial address. So personally, I would not use my home address, especially on like Dun and Bradstreet, and none of the business credit side of things. I would use a virtual address, especially if you're trying to establish business credit.
So how do I get a virtual address? I'm new to this though.
Okay, you can go through Opius, Alliance, or Regis. Those are the three that I would recommend. I don't recommend iPostal, UPS Store, and I think it's another one that's like really cheap. Opus, Regis, or Alliance. And the Opus will give you, like Monica said, the credit line. So it's $99 a month. I think you can get a phone number with them too.
Yeah, they gave me a phone number and a fax number.
Mhm.
I'll pull them up.
They report it as a trade line on your business credit. So
That's Opus that gets the phone number?
Yep.
Yes, I'll paste it into the chat.
I didn't know about Opus when I started business credit. I had Regis. I found out about Opus last year. But had I known about Opus, I definitely would have chose Opus. It's a little bit more than Regis because I pay about $79 for Regis, but another $20. I mean, I'm getting a phone number too and a credit line reporting. So I would, if I had to do it over, I would go with Opus. I also use Alliance as well. Alliance is a little bit cheaper and they, they're fine too. But out of the three, Opus would be my first choice, Regis would be my second, and then Alliance.
All right, and Michelle, did you have another question or did that answer your question?
No, that answered my question. At least for now, I got that question answered. May have more later on.
That'll work. Come on back when you get another one. Meredith, your hand's up.
Hey y'all.
Hey,
Okay,
hey.
so listen, I got a whole story to tell,
Oh,
but I'm gonna make it short.
Okay.
So I'm on SAMS.gov. So I have a DUNS, I have an EIN, I have an LLC, I have a Google My Business, I have a website, I have Yelp. I have Quill, Uline, which I haven't even used yet. And then I have like a credit card, business credit card with FNBO.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have American Express Business, although I still had to use PG credit. They check against my personal with FNBO and American Express Business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I had a Google Voice attached to my cell phone, which I was having issues with. So I just got a business line with AT&T. I got a separate phone line, cell phone, strictly dedicated to the business from AT&T. So they pull through the credit business, and it was like, oh yeah, you don't have to put a deposit or whatever down. My problem is I don't even understand how this Dunn Street stuff works. Like I have a number, but that's all I know. I don't even know what to do, how you check it, none of that.
Well, we're about to do that right now because you just perfectly segued into us because I was asking for volunteers so that we could check and see what their profile.
I said me.
You did? Okay, so good. So I'm going to search you. And what is your company name, Meredith?
It is called Opal and Olive Notary Specialist.
Oh, let me add notary.
Yep.
There you are.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have a profile. And for those of you guys who are patiently waiting for me to show you how to get your DUNS number, I have not forgotten you. We will show you how to do that because that's going to be your homework. So this is.
I had a quick question about her phone number. So if she got it through AT&T, and as long as it's in the business name, is that what they look for a lot? Because I know that you guys have been talking about the phone numbers.
So I don't know how AT&T, is it automatic with them? But with Verizon, you have to request that they list your number under your business name.
I
Because-
will ask, I just got it, so I will ask them that, but everything else was under the Google thing. So I just did this like a week ago. So everything else was under my other Google Voice number, which
Okay.
needs
And
to be
what
changed.
Monica had mentioned at one time too, that she did the Google Suite. Was that her that said that? Or can you get a number from there as well?
I did Google Suite for my email, and I use them for my, I use them primarily for my email, but I've never gotten a telephone number for them. I used to feel some type of way when I called Google Voice numbers, so I've always shied away from them in business. I don't use Google Voice, but I know that people use them fine with no problem now, because you can turn off that playback, or you can turn off that thing that says you're calling a Google number. I just never did like that. But
I hate it.
Yeah, I've got the Ring Central. And for those of you guys, you know, if you're really serious about building this whole presence, Ring Central is pretty affordable as far as that goes. And you're able to have an auto attendant and you sound legit, and your number when they call, if they check you out, it's press 1 to be connected to, you know, all of that. But there's answerhero.com. If you want to do a $79 a month and sound, you know, have a business number, they will. They will provide you with a number at answerhero.com. However, it is their number. So you will have to stay with them and be with them for forever, but they'll answer your calls. Hello, this is Opal and Olive, notary specialist. How can I help you? So that's another option for phone.
Nextiva is another option for phone as well.
And is there a reason for that? I mean, I don't know if anybody knows it. I know you're supposed to have it, but what is the rationale behind it?
Behind having the business number?
Yeah.
It makes your profile looks, it makes you look just like having a Gmail versus using your domain, like a professional email. I had Gmail for the first 2.5 years I was in business. I didn't think it mattered, but it does matter. Like little stuff like that matters. So I switched to my domain email, so now I have a professional email, a .com email address.
That's good. Okay, I need to get on that part too. Thanks for mentioning that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Meredith. So we're at your profile, and it has you at 18721 Center Avenue, Homewood, Illinois, with 3 employees. Is this looking good or looking bad?
So that's my home address.
Oh, okay.
That is my home address because I'm mobile, right?
Right.
Everything I do, I don't do anything here. I travel to the client, so we meet at a public place because I do a lot of general notary work. So I use that because you couldn't use the PO box, even though I had a PO box, which was money wasted. But that is my home address.
So your homework is to go with Opus, right, Tabitha, or Allegiance, or Regis. So that's your homework, Meredith, to get your business address here versus your home address.
Now,
especially when you have employees, which I'm glad you do have some employees listed there. But
that's just my kids. I ain't really got no employees. It's just me.
It's okay. They still employees.
Right. It's just me.
Now your sales, that's a low number. Your sales, has your sale increased this year?
So technically, no, because I've really only been in business just barely a year. Come January was a year. So I just really,
so
to me, it's still new.
Where do you project? Because
listen, I'm gonna speak this into existence, and I need all y'all to touch and agree through this screen. I want to make 100,000 this year. Hello.
Well, that needs to be on Dun & Bradstreet.
Touch and agree.
I need you to touch and put it on Dun & Bradstreet.
I
like the way you
touch
did
the
that.
screen. You want me to touch the screen?
I want you to change it, update your profile to
Yes, Meredith, you got homework. Go update your profile and get $27,000 out of there and put that
You know
touch
how
my
my,
green
you know
number
what
in
my
there.
revenue is on Dun and Bradstreet. You know how I have 7 employees and $821,000 in revenue. Now, I didn't even put that on there. They did it. Somebody reported that to Dun and Bradstreet, so that's what's there.
Okay.
And I'm not changing it. I put on there 102,000 because that's what I made the year before. So when I started fixing my profile before I bought my vehicle, I made sure that what was on my tax return was on Dun and Bradstreet. It changed like 6 months ago to saying I have 7 employees and $821,000 revenue. I was
Wow.
like, okay. Well, all right,
Meredith,
man.
another thing you mentioned was you said a year ago you started and it says 2020 right here.
So that's when I got my license, you know, my business. I did establish that in November of 2020, but I didn't do anything until January of 2021.
So that's another thing I want to tell y'all. When you formate your business with the state, it's not necessarily when your business started. Some people act as a sole proprietor before they actually register their business with the state. So how long have you been in business doing what you're doing? Not when you register with the state. Were you in business before you register business with the state? Because that time counts.
Okay. But the answer is no.
But it's fine because, you know, you started in 2020 and this is 2022. So they're going to count it as you've been in business 2 years, which is
Okay.
good.
Okay.
So just fix that sales number.
So, okay, fix the sales number. So you went straight to, what did you go? You went to, I'm trying to see where she went, just DunandBradstreet.com?
I did dnb.com and then I searched for your company. I think I did come to, I don't know how I got to this page, to be honest with you. Let me put the link to it in the, it's going to be, it's business directory is the URL that I went to. Okay, so now that I'm here, Miranda, let's get your question answered. First, Meredith, did we get you squared away?
Okay, so my homework is change my salary and get a different address. So I got a question in reference to the address then, because you say that. Because when you change your address, that means I got to go back to the state and change all of that information. You know what I'm saying? I got to change everything everywhere.
That's
You do?
right.
Mhm.
To get to the money, yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Everything needs to match across the board, state, EIN tax. So if you haven't filed your tax return yet and you make any change to your business before you file, the IRS will update your information based on your tax return. If you file your tax return, you will have to update it with on your EIN with the IRS as well.
Okay, but listen, so now that you bring up the taxes, check it out. So is that going to be an issue when you're using part of your home as your office? So you using your internet, you using this room. I have this room that's dedicated to the office, which is, you know, square footage. You know, part of the office. All of this is part of the business. So is that going to be an issue if I'm changing the address? Then I can't even write any of that off.
So you have a business address and you have a physical address. My physical address is my home address because I have an escort and I rent my office from myself to get that $7,000 Augusta rule deduction off my taxes. But on my tax return, my return to the IRS, I have 1 Chisholm Trail Road, Suite 450. And I still claim my business because I work out of my house, but the virtual address is where all my mail goes for my business.
Okay. So you got a physical address, which is the virtual, right?
The physical address is my home.
The home.
And then the virtual address is my business mailing address. So that's on everything, tax return, because I have an S corp, so I file a business return separately. All my vendors, everything goes to my virtual address. But when it comes to Sam's, because I couldn't use the address I had for Sam's, I had to put my home address. So on Sam's.gov, my tax return has my virtual address, but my home is where I work out of every day because I'm a mobile notary. So I print from home and I rent my office from home. All that's on my tax return.
So I can't keep my address on Sam's.
I have both addresses on Dunn's because they have a place where you can put your address and then like your Phil's. I think it says Phil's. It doesn't say home address. So both of them are listed.
Okay,
But as far as business credit, it's my virtual address.
okay.
And I want to interject right here because we're talking about SAM.gov, you guys, is very particular when it comes to your ITIN match. When you get your cage code, they're going to go to the IRS, and whatever address you put on that Schedule C is going to be what you need to have on your SAM.gov. Now, let's just stop for a minute and talk about SAM.gov. Some of us ain't ready to go to SAM.gov yet and don't need to be worried about SAM.gov, okay? Some of us need to just focus on, because the reality of it is, and Georgette can tell if she's still on here, there are not a lot of notary contracts at the federal government level. So before you start wasting a whole bunch of time trying to worry about is your SAM.gov like it's supposed to be and making it match what you're done and all of this and driving yourself crazy, don't worry about SAM.gov. If you haven't been in, this is my advice, if you haven't been in business with revenues for at least 1 year, they like to see 3. If you haven't had 1 year of solid revenues, you do not need to be trying to do nothing on SAM.gov, okay? You need to be trying to get your certifications at the state level, if anything, not the federal. So least, I'm tired of folks talking about SAM.gov if you ain't ready for SAM.gov, okay?
Amen all day.
Okay, now that we got that out to play, we need to focus on making sure our addresses match up with Dun & Bradstreet. You need to make sure you Google your business and see what comes up. Make sure all of that, if somebody was to check you out and do research on you, that your LinkedIn profile matches your Google My Business page, that your this matches your that. That's the initial work. If you put a number 1 in the chat a minute ago, that's the initial work you need to start doing. And you need to take a week to do that so that next Monday or Thursday, when we come back and we do some hand picking and we Google y'all and everything is matchy, okay? Because we're trying to get to the money with the least amount of resistance, okay? And I don't want y'all, because y'all are nerds and y'all are smart and y'all want to do it all. And I don't want y'all to get caught up in that because we gotta get to the money. So we're gonna leave. If we haven't done a year's worth of business, we're not gonna I don't want to hear y'all talk about no government contracts. Okay. So now that I got that out the way, let's move on to the next showing
the next code on your Dun & Bradstreet.
Right.
Make sure that your next code is right. And please do not put 541120 on it because it's not, Office of Notaries is not recognized with SAM.gov anymore. So you need to change to 541199 or I also have document processing as my, I think maybe 56113 is tax preparation, but I can't think of one for document preparation because we do prepare documents. You can use that next code. But change to 541120 and make sure you have 541199 if you're just doing notary work.
All right. Now, for all of the ones that need to get their DUNS number, I'm putting the link to the right page on their website so that you can do that.
It's free.
It's
do not pay for your DUNS number.
Right.
Duns & Bradstreet will try to upsell you also. Well, I think $179 saying if you can upsell, no, you don't need it. Get your DUNS number for free and leave the rest alone.
And then when you get here, it's just follow the instructions. I have a US-based business. Excuse me, it's going to ask you your business's legal name. Let's talk about that, Tabitha. What about all this DBA and all of this? If you know what is your advice on that? Should we LLC up? I know you're not a tax person, but just your personal experience with your business credit that you built.
At the very least, you need to have an LLC because when you're a sole prop, you're using your social for your business. So if you're using your social, guess what? You're using your social for the credit too. So if your business fail, because they look at you as an individual, unless you have an entity. An entity separates your assets and liabilities from, if your business does fail, they won't come after you personally, unless you co-mingling funds and they can, find it somewhere. But personally, at least have an LLC.
And even if you're sole prop and you've got an EIN, and I'm coming to you, Miranda, if you have a sole prop and you're not using your social security number because you've gotten an EIN, you're saying that's not really the best thing to do. You really should go ahead and step yourself up to a LLC or something, a more official structure.
Yep.
Okay. Miranda, your hand is, okay. Meredith, did we get you squared away?
I think so. Is it free to check so how do you check your Paydex and all that? Is that free? Because every time I go on there, they trying to get you to pay for something and join something else.
So NAV, you have to pay at the very least $29.99 a month for it.
At NAV?
nav.com. You can see it for free, but you're only gonna see letters A, B, C, D, whatever it is, but it's not gonna take the number.
Right.
You need to see the number. So I pay $29.99. You can, I think it's up to $49, but they report that as like a credit line.
Okay.
All right, Miranda, you're up. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, I'm okay. After I seen your assistant's website, and I have a website, but the lady was charging a very extreme amount of money. And I need my pictures on it. Basically, I really like your assistant's website, the one that did her own.
Who was that? Christine? You talking about Christine?
She was your assistant and she showed us her website. I forgot her name. I thought her name started with an M. She answers a lot of questions inside the NNU. Mary?
Oh, Myra. Okay, yeah. Myra is actually, she was actually a contractor for me for a little bit. Myra is amazing. She, if you have her email, if you don't have her email, I can put it in her. She is one of those people that will help you in any way she can. I don't know if what she's got going on the business front, if she consults when doing that as far as the website, but I'll get you her email. Kozak Mobile Notary. I'll put it in the thing. And she had a free, Myra's set website, if I could remember the name of it. I think it's kozakmobilenotary.com, so I could just show you what Miranda is talking about.
It was so amazing. And I was like, I don't know. I'm going to Tabitha, like, do you think that I know for me, with my brand, I want everything to represent luxury and that you're going to pay me. But I was wondering on the business side, do you think that they just look you up and make sure you have a website, or do you think that they look at the layout and stuff like that too?
They don't care about the layout. They just want to be able to go to your website and see that that's your business, and they'll look through to make sure you're doing what you say, like whatever you say your business is, what you do. They want to be able to see that on your website. So your website needs to translate being a notary or business consultant, whatever you do. They just need to be, when they pull it up, oh, okay, that's her business name, and that's what she put on this application that she actually does. They don't care about layout, but this is nice.
Yeah, Myra ain't playing no games with y'all today, okay?
Yeah.
When you see, when the business checks her out, they're not gonna have any trepidation about, okay, is she a legitimate business? Right. She's got 56 Google reviews. Here they are flashing across her webpage. She's got her little professional photo here, and she's got all this stuff situated, okay? This is what you want before you start applying for them tier 2 accounts. I think you could probably get away with just being a very slim, trim business, no website with the tier 1s. Am I right, Tabitha?
Right.
Okay.
When you start into the SAMs, tier 2 and tier 3, that's when they start. Now, Granger will look you up, like regardless, but
okay.
The revolving credit, they're gonna definitely check your website.
So anybody that wants,
can you drop her website and her email too?
Yes, I can. Her telephone number is on her website, and her email address I'm about to drop in the chat, but her website I just dropped in the chat. And let me get her.
You.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I really like that.
And I want to say it's all on Google My Business. I mean, Google, it's a Google site. I think it's free. I don't think
the lady was, charging me a lot of money, so I need to know how to unhook my, domain name. Like, I'm not too techie, but
oh no,
I make up for it in other areas.
Yeah, y'all check Myra out, and y'all support her in any way you can, because she's got it together when it comes to that. Okay, and a whole bunch of other stuff too. All right, so now let's get back to Dun & Bradstreet for our ones, because I want to make sure that our ones get this. The link to this section of their site has been dropped in the chat. So for those of you guys who put up a 1, this is your homework to get your Dun & Bradstreet number by next Friday. It doesn't take long, does it, Tabitha? I don't remember how long it took me.
Well, I take that back. So it took about, they told me 4 weeks, but it took about 2 weeks. But that was
Okay.
3 years ago. I don't know how long it's
Took
taken.
me about 5 minutes. I did it during the meeting last week
Oh,
and
good.
got it before the
Okay.
meeting was even over.
Okay, good.
That part, Liza, that's what
Good.
I'm talking about. Okay. Business phone, get that together before you come here. So before you can finish your Dun & Bradstreet profile, you need to decide if you're going to be a Google Voice, if you're going to be a Ring Central, if you're going to be a answerhero.com. Okay. And you got to
Can
find
that
out.
stuff be changed after? Because I did use what I had now to get it. And I do have my home address. Is it, you can change it later?
You can update it on Dun & Bradstreet anytime. You update it, and it may take them about 2 days to actually, because they're gonna call you and verify the information, that make sure that you made the changes. So they'll ask you, did you change your address to blah blah blah, and you'll just say yes, and they're like, okay, I'm going ahead and get this updated for you, and it's like right now you can see it if you was to pull up your profile.
Cool.
So when they call you and verify, they update it real time. They say 48 hours for the show up, but it normally shows up right away.
All right, Miranda, did we get you squared away?
Yes,
Okay, perfect. See, Blair, your hand is up.
Yes, quick question regarding the phone number. I went ahead and took out a T-Mobile phone direct with the phone company. Would that work, or do I still need a Ring Central or one of the others?
That would work. You just need to make sure that T-Mobile is listing your number under your business name and not your personal name.
It is. It's registered under the business name.
But did they list it though? Because like I have my phone is in my business name, my cell phones, but I didn't know that I had to ask Verizon to actually list it under my business name.
Okay, I will find out. Okay.
So
Yes.
they'll do it for you if they're not already doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, one quick other question regarding the address. Do I need a lease to prove location? No?
Good question.
What was that now?
Yes.
Does she need
Do I need a lease?
Do you need a lease? Depends on who you go with. I thought I signed a lease with Regis, like a little lease agreement, but no, you don't have to have a lease. Now with tax, depends on what your tax into, like escort filing, whatever. I had to get a lease to show that I rent a room out of my house to pay rent to myself. But for this purpose, is setting up your profile, no, you don't have to have a lease. They're not going to ask you to upload any type of proof like that. So no. Mm-mm.
So quickly on the tax side, how do you account for something as complex as what I have? So I'm paying for the location, the mailing address that receives and processes mail and all of that. Then I have the property that I'm renting within the commercial space, but I am not using that currently as the address of record for the business. But I'm operating from here. Am I confusing?
That might be a little bit much for tonight's call, just because it
Okay.
does involve some of the tax questions.
I see.
CPA work for that.
Yeah. Because that is complex, and you definitely have a very valid question. I just don't know that we're equipped to give the right answer.
Can answer it. Got you.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's move along.
Okay.
Okay.
Avis, thank you for your patience. Your hand is up.
No problem. Tabitha, speak on freezing your personal credit
Ooh, come
for the folks.
You need to freeze. There you go. Miss Avis be on it. You freeze all 3 of your credit reports. All 3 of mine are frozen because some of the applications, like the fuel cards, we didn't talk about fuel cards, but we probably should have, since we're mobile. Most of us are mobile notaries. The fuel cards will ask you for your social for identity purposes. So when you list who the business owner is and can make decisions on a business, that's where your personal information comes in: your home address, your name, your phone number, your social. For identity reasons, to verify your identity, you do have to put your social in some of those applications. but you need to make sure your credit is frozen, because if it's not frozen, they will pull your credit. So all three needs to be, you go through each site, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and have those frozen. Like when I applied for Divvy, of course, my credit was frozen, and I unfroze it because it was a soft pull, and they denied me anyway because they saw, my credit. But keep that credit frozen. Excellent point, Miss Avis.
Now, is there a charge for that? Or you said we have to go through all three credit bureaus to do the freeze it?
Nope, you can do it through Credit Karma. For Equifax and TransUnion, you used to. I don't know if that changed. Experian, you can have the free account with Experian, and you'll be able to lock and unlock your credit that way. So you don't have to pay for a monthly subscription with them to be able to do it. Because I have a free subscription with Experian, and I lock and unlock my credit, and I don't pay anything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So 3s and 5s. Your homework assignment between now and next Friday is, guess what? Freeze your personal credit accounts, 3s and 5s. Everybody who didn't put a 1 and you're a 3 or you're 5, you need to come back next week having had that accomplished. Me, I'm a 1, but I'm gonna go ahead and pretend like I'm a 3 and go ahead and freeze mine anyway. So if you're a 1 and you want to go ahead and get that out of the way and you get done with the Dun & Bradstreet number and all of that, go ahead and do that in anticipation of our next session. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. Avis, did we have anything else from you, or did we get you squared away?
No, ma'am, all good.
Okay, and Miss Claire, thank you for your patience. You're on the phone. You're on the floor, I should say. Or the floor is yours.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. I called Dun & Bradstreet a couple of so weeks ago because I needed to update the information that is listed. At first, I only saw my name and I saw my home address. And I just checked the business directory and there's a whole profile, a whole profile.
Okay.
But it has my personal address, home address listed, which needs to be changed to my business address. But then again, from the conversation tonight and from previous conversations, I need to change that as well because I'm not with Opus or any of the others. I'm with, what is it, Mailbox, etc., or one of those.
Regis, or yeah.
And so I need to change that as well. But I see a whole profile where there's company description, revenue generation, number of employees, etc. So, but I definitely need to, excuse me, trying to get a cold here. Trying to get I need to get that address changed for sure.
Yes. Addresses are going to be a really big thing with us, it sounds like, because some of us are mobile and some of us are not leasing a traditional office. So having that figured out in the next 7 days is your marching orders, guys. We're not going to take 3 months to figure out our addresses. We have enough information now to decide, are we going to go with Opus for $99 a month? Are we going to stick and stay where we are? We know that we don't need to have our business address as our main address. So we need to go ahead and get a virtual address. But like Tabitha said, she has her business address as her physical location, but then her other stuff, all of her business stuff goes to that address. And that's the address associated with all her online stuff and her Dun & Bradstreet. You guys can do something exactly like that, but you're going to have to make the investment in your business and securing that business address before you can even get your profile complete on Dun & Bradstreet. Did I say that right, Tabitha?
You did. I haven't been looking in the chat, so I can't. This tech stuff is all new to me. Someone asked what type of vehicle I purchased. I purchased a 2021 Toyota Highlander XSE.
Yeah.
I would love to hear not tonight, obviously, because we're running low on time. But I would love to see a real live mobile notary go get that Nissan NV200
I'm
for
working on it, Mom.
25,000.
I'm
Okay.
working on it. We've been talking about it last year. It's on my
Yes.
board, it's on my
I can-
phone, it's on my walls, it's everywhere.
So you and Miss Violet, you already in the threes on the stages of your business credit. So you might not be far away from it, because Tabitha got a $46,000 car, and the Nissan NV is only 25.
Exactly.
So you should be able to get all of this stuff together. Go to Nissan Fleet. This is the mistake I made. I went to try to finance my car at the what you call it, and it was a Ford dealership. I spoke with the fleet manager. I gave them my business information, but I gave them my real estate. My real estate business is a sole proprietorship. I had an LLC, but I let it administratively dissolve. When I applied under my real estate company, because that's the one that had the longevity, I got denied because they went to the Secretary of State's website and they saw that my situation wasn't right. So what I'm doing now with Tabitha's direction is I'm getting complete signings together, because complete signings is all up to date. Now I have a year of business under my belt. So when I go get this, whatever I'm finna go get, okay, I want to make sure that I don't have any challenges with being able to secure a car loan. And that's if I get a car loan. I don't know how much business credit. Let's close it out on this. Is business credit like personal credit, where you can get so much that starts to negatively affect your debt to income ratio?
Not unless you stop paying it. Like, so unless you're PG, and if you're post PG, and when I say PG, that's personal guarantee, using your social to back the loan. When you do that, some of them will report to your personal credit.
Okay.
So that will affect your DTI. That's why I say try not. So American Express, if you have a personal American Express card, you can apply for the business American Express, and it won't be a hard pull, because if you're one of their customers, they'll do a soft pull and you can get 3-4 American Express in your business name. That's just an example of your personal credit isn't always bad with business credit with American Express, because if you have any type of personal account with them, they'll give you a business account without it showing up on your credit. But that's why I say I don't believe in the personal guarantee, because if they report, it will affect your DTI.
Okay.
And that's what you don't want.
Claire, did we get you squared away? Did you have any more questions before we go over to Michelle?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Michelle, thank you for your patience. You're up.
Hey, so 2 questions. One is, you talked about leasing space back to yourself. So I have an LLC. So should I be leasing my space back to myself?
So are you claiming that you filing under S Corp, or you just have an LLC?
I just have LLC. I'm not at S Corp yet.
So you can write off expenses like for your home office on your LLC, but when you have an S Corp, that's how you're able to use the Augusta rule with
Okay.
Leasing. So
And,
you're actually leasing from yourself to your business.
okay, then the second question is, my EIN is under my home address. So would I need to change it then once I get the virtual office?
Yep. And if you've already filed your business tax return or your tax return, you will have to change it through the IRS. If you haven't filed your taxes yet, you can change it on your tax return and the IRS will update.
Okay. Now I'm still waiting for one more 1099 before I do that.
Okay, so yeah, so when you file your taxes, I would just update my address at that time, because that way your EIN be updated with the IRS.
Okay.
All right, folks, it's 8:57. And I think we have had enough of a powwow. Michelle, let me make sure. Did you have anything else before we?
No, I just need to put my hand down.
Okay. All right, guys. So we have the resources little quick checklist here that has already been shared to you all, so you have access to it. I got started on this little checklist, but honestly, I'm not probably going to go through with it, because I think it's better for you to kind of go back through this replay and take some notes, because there were some pieces that I couldn't catch and type in time. So I'm not gonna share this because I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it. But go ahead and do your homework, okay? If you're a 1, somebody tell me. Let me go pick on somebody before I let y'all go so we can make sure we know what we all are doing. Emily, what is your homework for next Friday, next Thursday?
Well, based on what you guys said, I definitely need an address. So that's on top priority for me, and also professional email.
Very good.
And then the phone number. I have a Google Voice, but Tabitha was saying that it has to be what was it, listed under the business name. So I don't think that's gonna work.
Right. And these things.
What are you using, like a mobile phone, or you have a mobile phone that you connect to your Google Voice or Google?
That's right. I have my personal cell phone, and I have a phone number with Google Voice, and it goes directly to my cell phone.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I would probably do, instead of Google Voice, Ring Central, because they do that too. Probably a little bit more than what you're paying for Google Voice, but some vendors don't like Google Voice numbers, so I never really recommend Google Voice. I would probably do Grasshopper or Ring Central, because you can also have that line forwarded to your cell phone, and then it'll show up as a 1-800 number for your business.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you for that recap, Emily. I think she recapped a lot of what everybody, a majority of us need to do. Those 3 things: your address, your phone number, and obviously getting your DUNS number when you can, get all those other pieces together. And that's enough for now. And don't overwhelm yourself with anything more than that. This is a coaching process. It's going to be going on for the rest of the quarter. And we want to see people coming out the other side of it with actual business credit. On a scale of 1 to 10, drop it in the chat. 1, I did not learn anything tonight. 10, I learned a lot. Okay, let us know how we did. Let Tabitha know how she did. 10 plus 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. On that note, good night. The replay will be uploaded tomorrow for you to rewatch and take notes. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.